Hey there, Wargamers, Justin here, Painter here, and today I'm going to talk about hobby fear. I'd like to welcome you guys back to the channel. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you're new here, hit that like and subscribe. I hope that you enjoy what we have to say, what I have to do with the content I put out there, the light I'm trying to put out there into the darkness to bring people into Battletech. Today I want to talk about hobby fear. Now this is probably going to overlap a little bit with my hobby anxiety video, but I got to thinking about something the other day, and I really wanted to tackle this aspect here in a video to help you guys. I saw online someone make the statement, like, this is the way you should do something. Like they told them you should do this, right? And in certain contexts that makes some sense. The problem that I have with that is there is a certain philosophy that I subscribe to, and that is there's not the way, there is always a way. There's never the way, there's always a way. That implies that there are multiple ways to tackle any problem, right? And when someone's talking about painting and you tell them you should do it only this way, or it comes across declarative, it almost makes it feel like any other way is wrong, and it stunts hobby growth in my opinion. And here's the deal. You can watch a lot of YouTube videos. You can watch stuff I've put out, which is not much at this point. You can watch those things and see how other people do it. That's not the right way. It is a way. And in my opinion, you would be doing a disservice to yourself to emulate what someone else is doing and never try something new. You should always try something new. Take someone else's tools, put it in your tool chest, and incorporate it. You have an amalgamation of tools at your disposal to do something unique and yours. Learning from someone does make sense, but you're never going to grow if you don't try something new. The other thing that's going to happen is you're not going to grow if you're not willing to try something and fail, or willing to try something and not be good enough at it, but progress and try. So let's use some examples here of what I've got on my table, and I apologize if the audio is weird. I'm trying a new mic. Hopefully this comes out good. So we've got some guys that I did recently. I worked on this Battlemaster, and here's where a fear, started to take over a little bit. I stopped partway through the video, and this model, for me, looks like garbage. For you guys, perhaps not, and that's great if you feel that way. For my personal taste, I felt bad. Like, I was like, this isn't where I want it to be. Like, I start comparing it to this, right? And I'm like, it's very different. I'm capable of this. Why am I doing this? I was afraid to put out content because I was worried about how it might be perceived. It might not be up to snuff to someone else's view. Those types of people that tell you this is how you should do a thing, they might receive this negatively. Now, devil's advocate, perhaps those people aren't the ones watching this video, but I started to panic, I started to worry, and then it started to get worse. I started to overwork stuff, started to not get the canopy where I wanted it to be. I remember spending a lot of time. I actually cut the video and restarted and fixed it so that it wasn't as bad. But worrying so much about what someone else thinks or has to say, a little bit of hobby stunting, right? It was a hurdle for me, and it's okay to not do something at peak performance. It's okay to try something and not succeed. It's okay to just grow. So I did this mini, and I've done tutorials before, but I was trying to do something with speed paints. It's new. Completed it, wasn't super happy, put it out. The reception was pretty good, and then I come in and I do this guy, right? And I started to get more comfortable. I didn't worry so much about what someone else had to say, and I put out a better product. Not the best thing, but I was more comfortable with the tools. I didn't let fear dictate what I was doing. And up to this point in our little ramble here, I'm talking about fear of what other people think. But there's also the fear inside you. Like sometimes your social surroundings, the people around you, impact how you think, but you also have that little voice in your head, right? Sometimes it tells you things. You may feel like you can't do something, and you can. You totally can. So I was worried about a lot of stuff on this, tried the speed paints, and it came out better. Is it perfect? I don't think so. Is it good enough for getting something completed? Absolutely. But because I started to get my mind right, get my headspace right, I was more comfortable trying stuff. I didn't worry about anything else anyone else had to say. I didn't worry about failure. I was like, you know what? Damn it. I'm going to paint a cool thing. I'm going to see how it goes. And if someone learns something cool, and if they don't, well, I put out a cool thing, and maybe it wasn't for them. So overcoming that fear, trying to get more comfortable trying a thing. Nothing is worse than wanting to paint something or do something and then not, because you feel paralyzed. You talk yourself out of it, and then you choose not to do a thing rather than making forward progress. I can tell you, if you want to get better at painting, you're not going to get better at painting by just watching videos and never trying. So you have to try. You have to risk failure in order to succeed. And if you do that, even your failures are a success because you've learned something. And as Bob Ross would say, talent is a pursuit interest. Anything you are willing to practice, you can do. Some people it comes faster, some people come slower, but we're all on our own hobby journey, right? So where I am on my path, and whether I be in a Volkswagen or a Dodge Viper, just, you know, hitting that sixth gear and slamming the gas pedal down on my hobby progress, which is not the case, but if that was, it doesn't much matter. You're in your car, you're in your lane, you're on your path going to your destination, and where I am at, the paths I've gone, the winding road that I'm on, the vehicle, the avenue that I'm going, it's irrelevant. There's a guy that I follow on Instagram, Gavin Paints Minis, freaking phenomenal. And that dude's in a freaking rocket ship, right? He's been painting half as long as me, and he's leagues better, right? He used to hang out my streams. If you're not familiar, check him out on Instagram. Look him up. He's fantastic. I look at it and I'm like, this guy inspires me to be better, inspires me to grow. But his innate talent that he was born with is just different than mine. My ability to progress is not at the same speed as him, and that's okay. Your worth, your art has nothing to do with someone else. It has everything to do with how you feel. And if someone else doesn't like it, well, forget them. It doesn't matter. So in this case, back on topic, fear. Some of the stuff on this one I was not happy with. I was really panicking. And then I sat down and I was like, you know, I'm going to film another one. We're going to try. Gave this guy a try. Now I want to show you guys some examples of other stuff that I've done that I almost talked myself out of. And perhaps it will give you a little bit of a pep, let you know that you're not alone if this is how you feel. So we've got our Clan Wolf mech here, and this is actually a really good example to segue here. So I was worried about doing some freehand, and is it perfect? No. Does it look pretty good? I think so. But particularly, I was worried about doing the canopy and doing a red-ish into bluish transition. That's difficult, right? And I was really panicking. I was worried about it. I almost talked myself out of it. I almost went with my standard, like, tried and true green. I almost did a green. I do that process different now, too. But you'll notice, like, that was a green one. That's a green one. I did a kind of a green one on this Griffin because I'm comfortable with it, right? Not trying to, like, challenge myself. So with this one, I wanted to try something new. I think the canopy turned out good, but I almost talked myself out of doing this. I was almost too afraid to try this, right? But I did. I think it turned out well. Now I can show you a side-by-side comparison. Here we are, like 3 years later. I think that the Clan Wolf one looks perfectly fine. I think this Jade Falcon looks 10 times better. And I would not be doing the Jade Falcon one if I hadn't started with this one. The confidence, the attempt, the progress, the learning, the skills that are acquired, that happened because I started with this guy, right? And I would not have progressed. I would not have learned if I hadn't done that. And the best time to learn is today. Now, start painting. If you want to be doing this, for example, you needed to start yesterday. Start right now. Start painting. Because if you want to be doing this tomorrow, you need to start today. If you put it off till tomorrow, this is still going to be in the future, if that makes sense. So basically what I'm saying is try to not let fear dictate what you're doing. Try to look fear in the face and you say, you know what? Forget you, fear. I'm going to try and do this thing. And I deal with that too. A lot of people that I engage with online, they will say, they'll give me compliments. They'll look at my work on YouTube or Reddit or wherever I've posted, and they'll say, or Discord, it's just comment. They'll be like, yo, that's really good. It looks way better than mine. I could never do that. That type of stuff. And it's almost self-deprecating, right? They'll tell me out of one side of their face, they'll be like, hey, that's really good. Compliment me. And I'm like, yeah, thank you. I appreciate that. I worked really hard. You know, I'm glad you like it. And then they will knock themselves down. They'll say they can't do this. I could never do that. And you can. I don't think I do anything that any one of you who's watching this couldn't also do. And if not, do it better. And I know that's easy to say. I'm not trying to be patronizing, but like, I think this guy looks really sick, right? You could do this. It takes a little bit of time and practice. I use a lot of techniques that you guys probably already employ or will. If you're new on your hobby journey, you will start to learn these. I use oil washes. I use dry brushing. I use an airbrush. I do edge highlighting. I use decals. I have a variety of basing materials. All those things are easy. Like I've done some freehand. Not super good at it. That's the journey I'm on to practice, right? But I learned all of these things, and some people be like, they'll knock dry brushing. They'll knock washes. I use it. Washes, oil washes, dry brushing, edge highlighting. You start to put all these tools in your tool chest and grow and do your art your way and try and kind of get where you want to be with your skill set. Now, I want to show you an example of some stuff that I did that's not Battletech related that I'm currently working on, and it took 2 years, at least 2 years, for me to start working on this model out of fear. And it stunted my hobby growth. And let me show you what I have achieved and talk about what I want to be doing, where I'm currently at, and how I'm kind of approaching this project, this process, right? So we'll start with the left arm here for a bust that I'm working on. So I usually don't do freehand. but I wanted this to be a competition piece, and I wanted it to tell a story. And I felt that this is a wide open canvas, and like in this case, it's like a military or military cyberpunk kind of female. I felt that, like, you know, she probably got some tattoos, right? I almost talked myself out of doing this, and then I was like, you know what? No, I'm gonna try. I'm gonna do this. I think I could do this. Is it perfect? No. If I wanted to be getting better at this, I needed to start yesterday, though, right? And I didn't. I was scared to try this model. It scares the shit out of me. It still does, and I'm still trying. Is it perfect? No. Have I had some pitfalls? Absolutely. Did I do the thing? Yes. Did I learn something? Yes. If I had to do this 10 more times, would it be better? Yes. I would not be getting better if I hadn't started. And I almost didn't, and it still took me 2 years to do it. And I regret it. I wish I'd started 2 years ago. Does it look better today than it probably would have been then? Yes. I've made some hobby progress. Are there aspects on this I wish I'd been trying sooner? 100%. I wish I had been. But yeah, so that's one arm. I also tried doing some blood here. I wanted like a little blood stains going down her hand. And then I wanted these bandages, these wraps to look like they had like blood in them seeping through. So yeah, that is that side. And then we've got her right arm. And I almost talked myself out of this. I did the tattoo. And I did not know how well this was going to turn out. I usually don't do freehand, but I did here. And we got a koi fish with like a cherry blossom and some little water waves, kind of Japanese inspired graphic here. And this is not finished, but that is where I'm at. And I almost didn't even do this. I got the skin tones down, and I almost did not do the freehand. And then I went, you know what? If I want to win this competition, damn it, I need to try. I have to try. And not necessarily win, quote. I would like to place. Last year I took a silver. This year I'd like to take a silver or a gold in my category. There's 3 categories. There's like, I'm going to say it wrong. It's like journeyman, whatever painter, and then like uber tier. I think the journeyman is the only one I got right. There's like newcomer, newbie, average painter, veteran painter. Veteran painters are absolutely nuts. Newbie painters are fresh new, and then the wide open category being the like average painter is where I put myself. I think this is good. Some of you guys may disagree. You may think that I am a higher caliber artist than I am, but I can tell you from being at some painting competitions or some conventions where they had painting competitions, I think I'm solidly in the average or above average category. Like I'm not in the master class. And I have no illusions about that. Do I want to be there one day? Sure. If I get there, cool. If not, I'm going to keep going on my journey. It doesn't much matter. And the thing I like about some of these painting competitions is that your stuff is judged on whether your stuff is gold caliber. Me placing, in general, I like a competition where me placing doesn't mean you don't. Like, judge my piece. Don't judge my piece next to your piece. Like, that is a thing. But the issue with that is that when certain artists show up to a competition or a convention, they pretty much win. They auto-win, right? Even if you're really, really good, they're just that much better. There's a difference between like a sporting event and then like judging your art. And art is subjective. So there are some things that you'll do, and at a paint competition, it'll get ranked high, and then another one will get ranked low, and it's based on the artist that's judging it and their opinion. So I like it where they look at your piece and they judge your piece based on your skill. And the way that Nova works, which is where I'll enter this, once you've placed, I think, gold in like the middle tier, they bump you up and you have to go up a class. You can't just keep sitting there trying to pamper yourself by being, placing gold in the average painter category. They will move you up. Once you've gotten a certain thing in the journeyman, I believe they move you up as well, so that like you are now amongst your peers, and it's encouraging you to grow, right? They don't let the masterclass artist drop down a tier and just get easy gold medals. You know what I mean? So I hope that makes sense. But I really like this piece. I'm working on the non-metallic metal here, and it's not perfect, but I think it's good enough. I'm trying to subscribe to the view that not to let perfect stand in the way of finished. And to quote my favorite artist, Lester Bursley from Awesome Paint Job on YouTube, I used to watch a lot of him. He said to me once, an artist's work is never complete. It is simply where they decided to stop. And I'm trying to subscribe to that idea. Like, get it really good, do the best I can, and then just be done and move on to a new piece. Because we can always go back and nitpick. We can always do better. We can always improve a thing. But it's diminishing returns. Sometimes you got to start with a fresh canvas and move on and try and improve. And in this case, I gave the freehand a shot for the tattoo. We got a ways to go, working on the shoulder, and I think it's just turning out pretty good. And this has been like a scary, scary process. And then I'll show you the actual bust, the torso and the head of this mini, and we'll start with the rear of it. So I'm working on trying to get the lighting and push it, which is difficult with black. I like to paint with black and gray. It's a thing. Trying to be dark here and push to the light here and get some of that texture. Non-metallic metal. This non-metallic metal looks way better than her shoulder does. But as we rotate here, we'll see. And I think she's turned out fantastic. I wanted some blood spatter, some dry blood on her, because this arm is going to be mounted like right there, right? Kind of imagine it up above her chest. So that arm or that hand's going to be right in this section. I figured there'd be some blood. She's holding some dog tags. It's telling a story. The other arm here is going to be on this side, and it's going to mount kind of like that, if you can envision, right? So she's going to have her AR-15 kind of held right here. She's clutching it, blood running down her hands. This one, she's clutching some dog tags, and she's even got like a little tear running down her face, right? And let's see if I can get that to focus, right? And I did like little white dots to try and make it look like there was a reflection. And that is where we are. And the non-metallic metal on this has turned out way better than her shoulder. But man, this model still scares the shit out of me. Her lips need to be finished, but her face is pretty well there. I wanted to do some texture here, some little stippling. I didn't do perfect with the pores of her hair, but I tried. Little scratches or scars, her hair. And again, just trying to push that contrast where we go almost to pure black. And let me zoom out so I could do the rotation. Almost pure black on her hair, and then when you rotate, you get up to that kind of red-brown or amber and black, and then you rotate. So this is a piece that I put off, again, for over 2 years. I missed the initial launch when this is a physical. They don't sell it anymore. The STL is available, but they do not sell the actual casting anymore. I missed the first casting of it, and then the second one that came out from Robot Rocket, I believe that's who did it. I got a message on Instagram, someone tagged me or sent me a DM and was like, hey, the secondary pre-order's up, don't miss it. And I had not missed it. I think I'd set alarm or something, so I didn't miss it. So, but moral of the story is, does she look good? I think so. Did I make progress doing skin tones and stuff with other busts that have helped this be where it is? I think so. Could I have gotten more practice on non-metallic metal? Yes. Could I have gotten more practice on freehand and tattoo work and stuff? Yes. I could have been making forward progress. And freehand and pieces like this scare the shit out of me, and it makes me afraid, and I don't want to do it. And I want to talk about that and be honest with you guys, because sometimes it happens. Sometimes I'm afraid to even do a YouTube video for fear of failure or not doing it right, but sometimes you just got to like swallow your pride, try and push that knot in your throat down and be like, you know what, damn it, I'm going to do this thing. I'm going to try this thing. And if I fail, at least I did it. There's someone out there right now who's refusing to do it. They're letting fear stop them. I don't want that to be me. I don't want it to be you, so I'm putting out this video to try and like encourage you to work on something. So if you're on the fence, if you're new to Battletech, pick up those paintbrushes, pick up a model, work on something. If you want to challenge yourself and try something new, try new techniques, watch a different artist, ask questions, also try a bust. 100% think you should try a bust. Pick up a new model, a new bust, a new medium other than mechs if you're a mech centric here, and try something new. There are things that you would do with this that you would never do on this. Like, I'm not painting a tattoo on this, but I tell you what you could do. You learn from doing that freehand tattoo and you start doing freehand iconography on mechs. You could do that. Put a cool mural on the side of a mech, or freehand your decals or your iconography. You could do that. This canvas is larger. It gives you a nice place to practice on and helps you hone your craft and learn something new. On that note, guys, I think that is where we're going to conclude today. Hopefully this was enjoyable. If you're new here, hit that like, subscribe. If you are a veteran to the channel, thank you so much for hanging out with me. If you want to help support what I do, check out the descriptions down below. Supporting Deathray Designs and Fortress Miniatures and Games helps support what I do and keeps the channel going, and allows me to keep my job. If Deathray Designs continues to operate, I keep my job. On that note, as you guys know, if I do not force myself to sign off, I will continue to ramble. I hope you guys enjoyed this. As always, keep painting your models, challenge yourself, keep rolling those dice, and I'll catch you guys next time.